Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners, and also colleagues here in presence. My name is Einārs Jaunzems. I work for EEST, the Latvian national implementing body, and as I was introduced, I'm the head of the project management and implementation department. And well, I know this is a procurement webinar, but first off, let me start on a brief update, how we're doing in terms of the implementation of Rail Baltica and Latvia in general. Well, the answer is we're doing pretty much okay. Both of our international stations are under construction already for quite a while, and all of the base scope design works there are concluded, and some design amendments are necessary here and there for in order to include latest technical updated requirements, but in general the work progress is going ahead, and we expect to finish works for the stations on time. We have also started to design our largest intermodal freight terminal in Salaspils. The design was started in the middle of last year, and actually today field investigations are started as well. This is quite a cold and snowy day outside in Latvia, so I give my best out to the guys in field starting to do boreholes, but we are moving ahead with the design. We have included there some design amendments to include also military mobility capabilities, which are becoming more and more important given the geopolitical realities, and we expect to finish the works in mid-2024. The regional stations, outside of our international stations, we also design 17 regional stations. 16 of them are for Rail Baltica route, and one of them is for existing 15-20 tracks. That is design we started late last year. We recently received the first design submittal, design and minimal composition. It's currently being under review by our colleagues, and then it's going to be submitted to the authorities, and we'll get the first building permits for all the stations. Infrastructure maintenance facilities, we have one in the north of country, one in the south, Skulteniecava. It's going ahead pretty well as well. We probably will receive a first ready design for the southern one in the middle of this year, and this will most likely be the place around which, in Iecava, we will start the construction of mainline outside of Riga. The mainline procurement itself is ongoing. I'll talk about this a little bit later in the details, as well as we have a currently ongoing tender for the design review and expertise services for all the previously mentioned design contracts that we have. It's for the freight terminal, for the infrastructure facilities, for the regional stations. As well, our colleagues from the infrastructure management department are working ahead with the development of infrastructure maintenance model, which involves different kind of services that are needed for this specifically. But as I mentioned, mainline construction and mainline supervision is the largest tenders that we currently have, and frankly speaking, in each respective field, they're the largest tenders in Latvian history. And we're talking about 220 kilometers of newly built double-track railway outside of Riga administrative territory. And we often get asked, why did we choose to go with the one contract? Because our neighbors, both north in Estonia and south in Lithuania, well, they chose a slightly different approach. And we had much of thought under this, and there were actually several conclusions. And one of them, well, obviously, larger contract gives economy of scale, both for the unit price and for the optimization possibilities. As well, larger contract with a larger contractor gives more financial assurance to the client that the works in the challenging period of time that we have will carry on. As well, thirdly, we are currently financing Rail Baltica from different sources of European funding. It's either Connecting Europe facility or it's the military mobility. And the funding is allocated in terms of the maturity of the project, meaning how soon are you ready to start the works after receiving of the funding. And well, we are receiving the highest possible level of maturity once we sign the contract with the contractor, because it's mobilized, the resources are there. As soon as we get the funding, we can get the works going, meaning we receive not only possibility to end the construction as soon as possible, we also receive assurance that the project will go on. So our contractor, his subcontractors, the supply chain, all the construction industry in Latvia can rest assured there will be a lot of work to do. We have received offers for the construction tender. We have received the qualification bids for the supervisor and engineer. We expect to receive their respective financial and technical offers in the beginning of May, and hopefully we'll sign the contracts in late summer. There are some other procurements that are upcoming, considering the fact that, well, we are designing a lot and we are building a lot, but that's not the entirety of the infrastructure that we need, and our needs keep growing and our needs keep developing. So we're talking about the design of 2 facilities. Both of the tenders will be announced expectedly at the middle of the year, and they're both located pretty close by each other. So the first one is the rolling stock facility in Jaunmārupe area. This will be a detailed technical design contract that we would tender out in order to receive not only the facility itself in terms of structure or in terms of the railway equipment there, but also the mechanical and technical facilities. And the other one is a multimodal cargo terminal nearby Riga Airport. There as well, we have received the funding, and we want to announce the contract in the middle of the year. We understand that our deadlines, again, as always, are challenging. So hopefully by the beginning of next year, we can actually start the design works and sign the contracts and get ahead with that. In terms of the qualification requirements for the bidders and much of other technical things that the viewers of the webinar might be interested in. Well, since we have recently started to work on the tenders themselves, I can't comment on this much, but in general, usually our approach is that we try to align the qualification requirements with the scope of the service that has to be provided. So probably some design expertise in railways, in railway facilities, rolling stock facilities is something that we might be looking at when we devise the exact requirements for the designers for both of these procurements. And having touched the issue of the fact that we are ongoing with construction works in Latvia as well, let me briefly touch on the subject in case some of you visit the Riga center. It's quite hard to drive around the car there. Currently, there's a lot of street disruption. This is us. Sorry, it's temporarily. We are fixing it. It happens during construction. We have finished already several viaducts. We have finished the elevator shafts and the escalator shafts for the station building itself, and this 2.5 kilometer long section of Rail Baltica mainland that goes through the urban historical center of Riga city is currently fully under construction, and this is done again without interruption to existing railway traffic and with minimized interruptions as much as it's technically possible to the pedestrians and the drivers and the public transport on the street level. This was the first construction site that we started in Latvia. We started in November 2020, and currently we've invested over 100 million euros in the project itself, and it really shows if you visit the site. We have achieved actually quite a lot. And the other one, for those of you who happen to be flying into Riga or leaving out from Riga Airport, well, there's a lot of construction works going on as well. You probably see our piling rigs are creating the pile field that we will need to start building up from the ground level, the superstructure. We recently closed down the existing motorway that went to the airport, and we built a new one. We will actually double that with a second access motorway in the coming months, and we are strongly on track to finish the station structure itself and the surrounding road network and external utility networks by the end of this year, and then we'll probably keep construction with the mainline viaducts towards both the Riga city and south towards the border with Lithuania. So progress is ongoing. Keep following us. Thank you.
Really, thank you, Einārs, for the valuable presentation. Hopefully also our viewers found this information regarding Latvia valuable and interesting. But please stay for a few minutes. We have received 2 questions. So first of all, continuing on the main line, our viewers would like to know, when will the Rail Baltica mainline construction in Latvia, the construction itself, will it be started? Okay,
very good question. So we expect that we can sign a contract in late summer. And after the contract signature, well, there's a different procedures that you have to go through. There's a different sets of reports that the contractor has to provide in terms of the scrutiny, design review, the optimization suggestions, and so on. So the contract signature end of summer, the construction itself on site, guys physically with shovels digging, probably very late this year. Again, this little bit is connected with the progress with currently ongoing designs. We know that designs are coming in, so I truly believe that it is entirely achievable to get them approved by the end of the year, and well, hopefully this will happen.
Great. So Latvia getting more busier with construction works.
Definitely, every day.
And then there's a second question. Is there expected a technical feasibility study for Jaunmārupe rolling stock terminal?
Yeah, there actually is. And this is currently handled by our colleagues of RB Rail with the help of export pool. I understand that there is a small internal tender going on inside the export pool itself, and this has actually been quite a useful tool in terms when you need the service very rapidly. It's easy to access. So whenever the next export pool comes up for the RB Rail, I suggest the market participants to apply. It's a great way of us to having a rapid access to your services.
Great, thank you, Einārs.
Thank you very much.